Okay, now let's look at the next question, 11. We need to factorize fully this expression. So let's look at our terms. We've got 2x squared and minus 4xy, and we're looking for the highest common factor in both terms. So first let's see whether you can find the highest common factor for numbers 2 and 4. The highest common factor for numbers would be 2, and for x squared and xy, x is the highest common factor. So we're taking 2x out of brackets and we're getting inside of brackets x minus 2y. And before you even think to write your answer in this answer line, multiply out brackets and see whether you're getting what you had. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times minus 2y is positive times negative, gives you a negative answer. 2 times 2 is 4, and x times y is xy. That is exactly what you had. And the second check is you need to see whether what you have inside of brackets, whether expression inside of brackets doesn't have any terms inside of brackets wouldn't have any common factors at all. So as you can see, x and 2y, they have nothing, no common factors. So we can now confidently to write our answer on the number line 2x, x minus 2y. So I would like to repeat what two checks you should perform when it comes to factorizing. So number one, always multiply back, alright? Multiply out the brackets to see whether you've got your original expression. And secondly, check the brackets inside. Check the brackets whether you factorized in full. So please make sure you notice the word fully. Alright, check the brackets on whether factorized it in full. Alright, so now let's go back to our paper. Factorize p squared minus 6p plus 8. It is quadratic, and we start factorizing from writing two brackets, and we're looking for two numbers. When you multiply them together, you are getting positive 8, and when you add them together, you are getting negative 6. So the fact that two numbers gave you positive result means they have the same signs. So it is either two positive numbers or two negatives. But since when you add those two numbers, you are getting negative 6, both numbers has to be negative, so it is minus 2 and minus 4. What was surprising in the paper that some of you managed to get correct numbers, almost correct numbers, 2 and 4. The signs were wrong, and when you multiply out, you managed to make even more mistakes, and even you did not react to the fact that you are not getting back your expression. Alright, so make sure you have done enough practice. Go back to your textbook and do more practice on factorizing simple quadratics. Right, p minus 2 times p minus 4, and obviously we do check. So let's multiply out the brackets. P times p is p squared. P times minus 4 is minus 4p, and minus 2p is minus 6p, which is correct. And minus 2 times minus 4 gives you positive 8, so that's also correct. Okay, let's go to question C, simplifying. It is algebraic fractions, and as with any normal fraction, the only operation that is allowed with fraction is you multiply or divide denominator and numerator by the same number. So here, as you can see, we have the same number on top, x plus 2. So we're dividing by x plus 2, top and bottom. So we're getting x plus 2 on top and 1 on bottom. So it is x plus 2. Simple like that, right? X plus 2. Obviously there was no need actually to open the brackets and to do wrong things like you know, x plus 2 squared over x plus 2. What you shouldn't do is just to subtract x's or just cross out x's. There is no such operation as crossing out. There are two things that you can do with fraction, is multiplying and dividing top and bottom. So please don't do something that has no sense, right? Go back to our lesson on algebraic fractions and do more practice. And now simplify. Simplify means just simply write in a way that looks a little bit more simple. It looks like calculations, right? So you multiply 2 by a squared by b, by 3 by a cubed by b. So obviously we can multiply 2 by 3, which is 6, not 5, as some of you wrote down. Okay, a squared times a cubed, it is the same base, and you add indices, so you're getting 5, and b to the power 1 times b to the power 1 makes it b squared. So the answer is 6a to the power 5 b squared. That's it. So let's move to the next question. This question proved to be challenging, so let's read this question again carefully, okay? All the students in Masstown School had a test. The lowest mark was 18, the highest mark was 86, the median was 57, the low quartile was 32, and the interquartile range was 38. On the grid, draw a box plot to show this information. To draw a box plot, remember what you need. That is box plot. That's like just a diagram, right, for box plot. To draw this box plot, remember what you need to know. You need to know the lowest mark and the highest mark. You need to know the median. You need to know the low quartile and upper quartile. And see what information you have now. For the lowest mark, you have 18. For the highest mark, you have 86. For the median, you have 57. For the low quartile, you have 32. And then you don't have upper quartile. So how can you get upper quartile if you know low quartile and you know interquartile range? Interquartile range is the difference between upper and low quartile. So if you take your low quartile 32 and 838, you are getting your upper quartile, which is 70, right? So now you've got all the numbers. The only thing is left is just to draw this box plot. So for L, we have 18, and for the lowest mark, for low quartile, we have 32. Even if it is difficult to see, then help yourself a little bit to show where 20 and 30 would be, because if you will not do it correctly, you will lose marks. And if you don't want to lose marks, sometimes grids on the exam papers are horrible, so you need to make sure that you help yourself, right? So as you can see now, between 20 and 30 there are 5 equal intervals, so each interval stands for 2 units. So if we need 30, we need to move to the next interval, 32, and draw another line. Okay, that is where your box plot will start. Then we need to know where upper quartile is, which is 70. 70, that's where your box plot will finish, and 86 for whisker. 86, one interval is 2, so you need 3 intervals, and that's where your highest value is going to be. So everything what is left, just draw a line. Okay, draw a line and box. Obviously yours will be much more accurate. And then 57 will be somewhere in between 56 and 58, so it is 52, 54, 56, and here's 58. So draw accurately 57 somewhere for the median. That's it. So here is the box plot. Alright, and let's move to the next question now. Question 13 on our favorite search. So that shouldn't be a problem, right? We expand and simplify. So we have our brackets 2 plus square root of 2 times 3 plus square root of 8. Let's multiply brackets. 2 times 3 is 6, not 5. 2 times square root of 8 is 2 square roots of 8. At this stage, please don't start transformation of cells immediately, alright? Just multiply out, do one step at a time. Square root of 2 times 3 is 3 square roots of 2. And square root of 2 times square root of 8, it is square root of 2 times square root of 8. That's one only thing that perhaps you could do immediately if you find it easy. And remember that square root of 2 times square root of 8 will be square root of their product 2 times 8, which is 16. Or it's still okay to write as square root of 2 times square root of 8. Okay, and now let's tidy up. As you can see, we have got here square root of 2 and square root of 8, and square root of 8 can be written in square root of 2 in this way. To simplify square root of 8, we write 8 as a product of one perfect square, the biggest perfect square in fact, which is 4, times another factor, and then we write this as square root of 4 times square root of 2, which makes it 2 square roots of 2, right? It's not necessarily for you to write all this explanation. Actually, if you understand that or you have done and you already remembered from practicing this so many times that square root of 8 is 2 square roots of 2, so you can write immediately 6 plus 2 times 2 square roots of 2 is 4 square roots of 2 plus 3 square root of 2 plus square root of 2 times square root of 8 is square root of 16, which is 4. Now let's collect like terms. 6 plus 4 is 10. 4 square roots of 2 and 3 square roots of 2 altogether 7 square root of 2. So we've got our answer. For marks, for many things, one is for final answer. There would be many marks, method marks for opening brackets correctly, that's one. Then for dealing with square root of 8 and square root of 16 is another one. And collecting like terms again, and finally for the correct answer. Okay, so let's move for the final question. Question 14 on the paper. Question about vectors. Alright, so we've got a diagram with basic vectors given us as vector A or A and vector B or B, and we need to write AB in terms of AB. If you forgot everything about the difference of two vectors, just think about the vectors as a movement from A to B. Right, to move from A to B using vectors A and B, I can move from A to B horizontally as it is on the diagram, or I can move this way from A to O and then from O to B. Moving from A to O, I moved along the vector A, but only in opposite direction. So therefore, my path can be written as minus A plus B, right? So AB vector is written as minus A plus B. Please make sure that you write something clearly like a vector or underneath in different ways that I showed you in the lesson how to actually to note down AB is not a length, AB is a vector, so you need to make it clear. Alright, obviously you can write your answer as B minus A it doesn't matter, you will get full marks for both of them. So AB is B minus A. Here's your answer, okay? So usually with vector questions, you somehow should be able to use answer to A when you answer question B. But first let's read the question. The line AB is extended to the point K so that AB to BK is 1 to 2. So AB is extended somehow, and somewhere there is a point K. And they're saying AB to BK as 1 to 2. So this distance should be twice as long as AB. And they ask you to write the vector CK in terms of A and B. To move from C to K, you would move from C to B and from B to K. So I will write my solution here, but I would like you actually to write on your paper in the where the place was allocated for you to write. So for CK, I will write more movement from C to K is movement from C to B to and plus B to K. Movement from C to B is the same as movement A, so I will replace vector CB to vector A. And BK is in the same direction as AB, only twice as long as AB. So actually I can replace BK to 2 vectors AB, which is B minus A, right? And now opening the brackets, A plus 2B minus 2A will make my answer 2B minus A. Okay, so here is your solution, and many of you have got right answer, only they've been changing the diagram, which actually, although it is correct, there were no marks allocated for the way you were writing solution. So what you have done, you simply change the diagram and you're moving in this very strange way, like wrong way, although it is correct solution, like you were moving from C to B and, as far as I understand, to B to K, so somehow in very difficult way, but you've got right solution. So could you make sure that you write down your solution in kind of systematical way, write clearly from what point to what point you're moving, then replace those vectors accordingly, your previous work results, okay? And then that's the final solution. So let's write our answer to B minus A in the answer line, okay? To B minus A. And that's the end of the paper. Thank you for listening and working. We'll repeat this paper on Tuesday, and hopefully after this work your marks will get better. Okay, thank you again. That's the end of the video.